And you're right. I'm wrong. I don't know about race cars.
Well, welcome to Turn 4 Talks with Nate and Pop.
Yeah, there you go. What's happening?
I think it'll be a fun season to start off with. The Clash will be pretty decent. They announced the format, and I think there's some interesting things to go off with that. So,
It's just like a bag of chips, man. Every time you don't know what you're gonna get. I don't know. I thought that last thing in there, the top points person gets that 23rd spot, which is interesting given.
yeah, the thing that stuck out to me the most is they announced that all the laps are going to be run under green, but there's going to be no green, white, checkered, or anything like that, which just leads me to believe, especially with short track racing, that I don't know if it's going to end up with a one lap shootout then, which I guess is a green, white, checkered. So it's a little confusing there in my mind, but I think that's not too bad of an idea.
23rd spot thing to me is interesting. It's like a participation ribbon, you know. I guess you're just trying to appease sponsors and stuff like that, I'm assuming. But then again, I guess if you were William Byron and you were high up there and you had a bad luck, you're in the show. So
I mean, in a sense too, that comes from like if you compare Chili Bowl format is that's how they format the heats is the or figure out who's going to be running each heat is they go with a points format of who gets the most positions passed, etc. How Ty Gibbs almost made the show. Give him credit there. Wasn't his best run, but more impressive than I expected.
yeah, I get it. I mean, the qualifiers are going to be interesting. Um, I know they laid that out the way they did, but
I like that they break it up though, because like Briscoe's going to be, since he finished second in points, is going to be leading one of the or in one of the duels. So it's at least kind of or heats. So it's kind of neat to see that they're going to like essentially have it so the top dogs from the last few season or from last season are going to be get a shot to not go against each other. You don't have the final four drivers.
well, yeah, you got to wait to later on in the show to actually see. I mean, I'm sure lap times is going to tell a big story. Last year, Chase was really killing it. I mean, it obviously floated to the top. And I guess that's how they pick it out as well with your qualifying speeds to get you up to the top, I guess. But
And not on the other thing that stuck out to me was that there's going to be a break after 100 of the 200 laps at Bowman Gray, like a pause, which isn't unprecedented. They've done that before with the All-Star race for years, is having a random stage even before stages. But it's an odd thing to reset. You'd think you'd want them to roll for 200 laps and see who can duke it out. And there's going to be cautions. I mean, yeah.
yeah, I'm a little lost from last year a little bit, like the whole format, the changes in that. I mean, it's obviously small changes. Um, that it's modified a little bit more from when they were over there in the Coliseum out west, but you just kind of it's always the changes trying to make the show better. But I guess
And I like the race yourself in. I mean, there's a lot of complaints and had been with previous Bush Pole award winners for the Clash and then All-Star winners is all the Jimmy Johnson rule and having 30 something cars in the main isn't the spirit of the Clash, but
well, us old guys with the '90s when it was a Bush pole, you won a pole, you were in the Clash. I guess it's almost like the chase. You win, you're in. But and then past champion provisionals. It was the best of the best. There were some small fields back then. I think that's kind of why they opened it up a little bit. And unlike the Winston, you never had no open to get in that show.
it's cool to see because, I mean, if you're a fan of a driver who's not a top 10 driver, didn't get a pole, you can have somebody race their way in. We saw that with Wilkesboro for the All-Star race years. I mean, there were some really good fights in the back of the field in that last chance qualifier. And I think it might bring out the best in some guys and make you a little nervous and wonder who's going to make it in general.
Oh, bringing up Wilkesboro, man, McDowell in that 34 car Martin throwback and him and Gibbs, man. Oh, sorry, I'm going off riffing here, but
No, I think speaking of Wilkesboro though and schedule changes, it'll be kind of neat to see them be a full points race. I'm kind of out on it being Dover because as somebody who's attended Dover the last few years and who likes it as a track, it's kind of a bummer to see that track get degraded to an all-star race, in my opinion. But I think there will still be some fun with it. I just hope it goes back to being a full schedule race eventually.
It's like the All Star race at Bristol in a sense. I mean, it's fast concrete. It's a good track. Don't get me wrong. I guess maybe people just get bored to watching them 400 lap races on concrete. They something a little fast and quick, but
And my counterpoint to that too is, I mean, Bristol had the dirt race and still had the full night race, so it wasn't, or at least the day, both night races. But either way, they were still running Bristol, so it wasn't like you got gypped despite them having the All Star there. It was a full points race, and I mean, I feel like that would soften the blow. But obviously, Dover losing its one date in the last few years and going down to a single date, it's now it's down to not much. So.
man, we used to go 2 races a year when she was blacktop, man. That thing was, I mean, concrete too as well, but that was a good track in its day.
Another, oh, you go.
No, it's not gone. It's not forgotten. Obviously, it's the new Russian roulette of NASCAR, just trying to, and it's keeping it interesting, I think. What do you think about that?
I think it's nice. I like mixing it up, and same kind of concept with them running the championship races at different tracks. I was always a big fan of Homestead, but I really think it's neat to see it switch. And if it's not Homestead every year, I'll be all right with that. But you almost wonder where do they go next? What's the next track in rotation? Charlotte, Atlanta? I mean, I don't know if you'd want to decide it at one of those tracks though.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's funny seeing Chicago come back. Like, they don't want to do the streets anymore. So, oh, we got the speedway out here. Maybe we caught everybody's attention. I don't think so, but we'll see.
No, and that was, I mean, for a lot of fans, I'd never made it out that way, but for a lot of fans were frustrated because it was, again, same as the Dover thing. It was an either or. You have this giant, beautiful facility out there that's put on some good shows, and then they just ditched it and left it abandoned for years, or for a few years while they went to the streets. But I almost wish for a fan aspect that they did both. There's not that much in the Midwest anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and the road courses on the circuit is just my experience going. You got to be the guy that moves around and experiences all the corners, like the Glen. I think you go to the Roval back in the day. We'll move into that topic in a little bit too, but you could get spots where you could see that whole track, but you can't get that at Watkins Glen. Definitely not at Chicago. So, I mean, one of those things. I'm sure I've never been to Sonoma, so I can't say, or Circuit Americas. And I guess if you're on that tower, you might get a little shot.
Yeah, but that's a exclusive tower. I remember Michael Jordan watching the first race at Coda from up there, and he had pretty much his own little mini suite up there and VIP.
Must be nice.
Yeah. Speaking of road courses and changes, it's recently came to light that they're ditching the Roval full send a week before the racing starts, and now you've mixed up a race. I mean, it's interesting to see that they're dropping that for an oval.
They're trying to get Van Wiesenberger out of that top. Yes, that's right. I said Van Wiesenberger. That's how I say his name. Get used to it. But maybe they said, oh, he would have made the top 16, but I think they just nipped one out of there on him.
Yeah, and you mentioned too, one of the biggest things I think from a fan perspective is the viewpoints. I mean, obviously, it's still going to be a great race, and Charlotte's been putting on great races, but there's something about sitting there in NASCAR Turn 1 looking down, and you just get such a neat perspective of the whole track, and you get to watch it unfold throughout the day, and they come barreling in away from you towards the infield, and then barreling back out into NASCAR 1. It was such a neat thing to watch, especially as guys are tires sliding onto the NASCAR turn.
Yeah, I went the last 4 years in a row, and you always ended up in that spot. I mean, first time I went, we were right there, up high there in a good spot right below the suites, which was nice. And the second times I started out at that fan zone down between NASCAR 3 and 4, excuse me. I hate that term. But, but then you just work your way around. But you end up there. You had to go down there. It was definitely the spot. The most action happened over there, especially last year. I mean, Lawson and the Burgermeister, there you go, was battling pretty hard. It was impressive.
Something interesting that came to my mind too is if you already bought your tickets for that race or renewing your tickets and you're sitting in turn 4, those were the cheap seats because that was the least amount of action you'd see on the track. So, I mean, you just got a free upgrade because now you're sitting in turn 4 for the final finish for the new Charlotte race. I mean, it'll be a lucky come up for somebody there.
Nate coming up with some financial advice there. Get your turn 4 seats, man. They probably was pretty thin there, but I'm wondering about the crowds that's going to draw. I mean, the 600 put on a killer race last year. I think that's the allure that pulled them back, I think.
Yeah, with the next gen, I mean, because for years, all the fans, including myself, were just whining and complaining and saying, no more, no more. Those ovals were putting on dead shows. And I mean, 2 Charlotte races a year. That by the second one, especially late in the season, you're just, oh, all right, he gave me something different. But the show they've put on with the next gen in general, the last few years has been phenomenal. So, another, yeah.
More horsepower, that's what they want. Right.
Which is neat because they've announced, I mean, at least for the short tracks and such, they're going to give a little bit more boost to the horsepower. So I think that's going to lead to some better racing at Martinsville and some of the other tracks in that same tier. It'll be kind of neat to see. I'm curious what ends up coming with the Dover race again. And, you know, if they've rung what you brung like they proposed last year, but a lot of the drivers and teams shut that down. So,
yeah, I remember that. That was an oddball to run, you know. People were saying how much money they would have spent to put something together. It would have been wacky.
Nobody was twisting Penske's arm to go spend an extra paycheck on changing things up and bringing some weird car. But I mean,
we're gonna go back to the offset cars of the. Could you imagine the new car, offset with the rear?
Imagine how much fun that Chad Knaus or Cole Pearn. Obviously, neither of them are on a box anymore. But imagine how much fun one of those guys would have if you. That's how you end up with a T-Rex, Jeff Gordon, and Everham cars. You bring something that's so weird, or I mean, even another
Kevin Harvick's twisted sister. Remember that car, man? That thing. That thing looked like you hit it side of on a pole, and they just kept racing it.
Another interesting idea too. I mean, like obviously, Bill Elliott had the freer steer back in the day. That NASCAR immediately banned it after a few
Dover,
races.
man, But he was Dover and Rock back to back, man. That was impressive.
You could see. I'm curious too. I bet you see some wild splitters and some nose adjustments. I mean, they want to go for a standard car, so I see where they're going for with the teams. But I don't know, for fan aspect, if they want to sell it to the fans, and you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Ain't that the truth?
And so Daytona's rolling over.
Oh yeah, there you go, man.
So I'm curious what storyline or what in general is sticking out the most to you in general, and then we'll kind of go into each series and go from there.
Rock and roll truck race, man. I'm just telling you, that to me, usually it's the warmer up, but there's so much stuff just percolating in that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big storyline is the return of Ram and Dodge as a whole.
Smoke.
And they were putting a lot of money and effort into this, which would be interesting to see how it pans out. I mean, it could be how Dodge came back the first time to Cup, or it could be Toyota when they initially entered the series. And
there's going to be no Toyota hatred signs out there for Dodge Rams, though.
No, they're going to sell so much merch. I'll probably end up buying a hoodie myself. I can't deny that one.
But, no, you got to think, right? They probably got those trucks back right now. I wasn't even thinking on that part about the merch, but it's going to be fun. Got to bring our money.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, even the amount of merch Tony Stewart's going to sell for that return, and all the fans that are going to come back and just watch that, which is going to be neat. I think that's one of the highlight storylines is Tony running again, too. And you even get some other fun ones. He's not in Dodge, but Travis Pastrana's going to be running that race. They got a full field, and some. So somebody's going to go home. And it's not going to be a light show with nobody going.
Yeah, no, it blows my mind. I kept thinking LaJoie was going to get in one of those, and now he's in a Spire truck, which is still an interesting story in itself.
It's actually, he'll be in the Henderson Motorsports, which Parker Kligerman was in, the 75.
Okay. My apologies.
But yeah, so he'll be in what was the Spike Vodka 75 truck that Kligerman should have won the Daytona, or did win Daytona. Let's go there. But yeah, so he's actually running that.
He did it in that 88 for Junior, he came back and proved it.
Oh yeah, I think it's interesting though with the LaJoy thing you brought up is he'll be running a Chevy in the truck race and a Ford in the Cup Series. So I'm assuming there's no manufacturer contract. I'm assuming he just has a deal with RFK as a reserve driver and test driver equivalent.
He brought the money to the table with Trimble, I'm thinking.
Yeah, which is neat to see that they RFK secured some sponsorship for that for multiple races too. It'd be fun to watch them also running the Biffle funnel while they're out there. That'll be a decent.
That was just wild the way that came all about. But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool tribute to him, and I guess we'll all be quiet on lap 16, man. I ain't got 16 fingers like the old three, but I guess I have my toes in the air. I don't know what to tell you.
And then speaking of the transition a little to Xfinity, is I think there's gonna be some decent storylines there too. They haven't fully announced all the drivers or entry list, but it'll be kind of interesting to see how the junior motorsports mess of mixed cars and drivers goes next year.
So is Connor start? I haven't seen that yet. Are you up to that, or something we're gonna have to look into?
Well, it's definitely something we've got to look into.
Because I'm assuming he would get but he'd get that spot at Daytona.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in one of the cars. I know Carson is going to run, so I don't know if Carson's going to be in the 1 or the 88.
That's a mixed bag.
Yeah, and they've announced the Cup All-Star drivers for the 9 car, but I don't know if they've announced the full schedule. I also need to know if Raja, which one he's in, which...
Raja's 88, I saw, and I know all the Hendrick guys that kind of sharing it with him all year.
Yeah, they announced all 400 guys are going to run 2 or 3 races, I think, or...
Well, it seemed like from when I saw that schedule on that, it was a lot of Lawson and a lot of Byron. I think Chase
only running 2, I think.
2, and Bowman. I feel like I didn't even see his name, but it's probably in there.
I think he is running it. I think Bowman's also running 2 races. It's a neat thing to break up. I'm surprised. I guess Hendrick's going full time with Corey Day in the 17.
Yeah, that's going to be.
There's no more Hendrick All-Star seat there, but. I'm not sure if I'm sold on Corey Day yet. I know Larson tabbed him and said that if you want the next dirt guy who's going to be a guy, that's him. But I mean, how many guys have you come through this series who have been such great dirt guys? I mean, is he going to be the next Kyle Larson or the next J.J. Yaley? And no offense to J.J. Yaley, that man was a badass in racing in any form.
But you got to think, like, equipment's a big part of that. And I know, of course, Hendrick's got good cars, but, you see Zilich's path, through JL Motorsports with that support. I mean, Trackhouse obviously had a lot of backing on that as well. But, hopefully Connor gets that same, laydown as well. But I don't know. Junior Motorsports was hot last year. They were so hot.
It'll be interesting to see them come. We'll transition to Cup, but it's I guess that 40 car is coming back again this year, which, I mean, everyone knows.
We're moving into our Daytona part now. Yeah, that's it for the 5, for the Cup race, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to see the 40 Traveler back, which has got to be interesting. Love the font. They must have brought back, it appears to me, it's the old Sterling Marlin 40, but...
My favorite thing about that whole car is that Junior, when he revealed it, said, like, we got contingencies, then... There's no actual contingencies to run on the doors anymore, so we made our own. And I was just, what a kick. I mean, that's typical Junior.
But it's a little ironic to me because, Godspeed and bless Earnhardt Sr. bounced off the nose of that car 25 years ago to that race, which is, I know a lot of people aren't talking about that, but I'm sure maybe they'd be holding the 3 fingers up on lap 3 and then 16 on the 16 because that, that really hasn't been talked about. That's 25 years since, man.
No, that's an interesting point, I guess. And the amount of hate Sterling got, he got death threats and letters, and every single person when they're
class act driver too, man. He was. Yeah. I mean, he got a little trouble for jumping out and trying to fix his fender that one race, but that's it goes down in the history books.
And sticking with Cup, I think it's going to be the usual contenders. The same few guys are going to be good on the super speedway and up front as usual. You'll probably see some Chase and Denny and Joey. I mean, I'm curious to see how it all pans out with the new format, but it's not like the drivers are going to change or the equipment's that different, minus a few new rides. I mean, the same guys are still going to be there. And it doesn't mean we can't get a surprise Daytona winner, but there's nothing sticking out that like, oh, this so and so. I mean, Zilich is the question mark, and maybe like Suarez moving to a Spire car, but yeah.
Yeah, and the field's filled up really nice because for a while there it looked like it was basically 40 cars with Jimmy getting his provisional on the end there. But it always makes it interesting when guys are in qualifying battling for speed and they're battling in the duels, man. So America duels, baby, this year. So
Yeah, I mean that's a great point too. Is this we have 45 entries announced so far, including another 23XI car, another Roush car.
Corey Heim coming back, trying to make that name for himself there.
Yeah, that's going to be a strong duels, and somebody with a good car is actually going to go.
So
home.
what do you got? You got Roush got one in there. Roush Fenway Keselowski, right? We got one coming in from 2311, right?
Yep. Another front row motorsports.
Yeah,
Chandler Smith is going to be 36, which as always they always have fast cars at that track. They're built for Daytona. I mean, not outside of the McDowell win, that they always have great run cars. And Chandler Smith almost won his way into the duel with it was the 66, I think, last year. I might be wrong on that one, but he was running a good race. They also, I'm trying to think. I mean, Junior obviously, Jimmy with the provisional. It's then I believe.
Yeah, right. Junior Motorsports. I can't believe we've got that one off our list because they got a race in. I mean, Justin did a great job getting in there yesterday and last year, excuse me, and he definitely he proved himself in that race, getting that top 10 for sure.
And then the Beard Motorsports at 62, which only shows up for plate tracks, and I mean, I love that they're still keeping that going, even though the main primary owner passed away. And
Brendan's a big push behind that team. His connection to RCR. Yeah, you gotta definitely appreciate Gone very much in that.
And then, I think it'll be fun. BJ McLeod's 78 will be there as well, which, I wouldn't count them out. I mean, it's Daytona and the duels. I mean,
he led some super speedway races in the last couple of years, too. I mean, he just ain't have the pit crew to keep him up there, but it's impressive to watch him draft his way. Good draft.
Yeah, and then I think I mentioned it separately, but I think the 66 is coming back this year. Yep. I don't remember who is going to be in that. I don't think it's Chad Fincham. I know he might be doing the Clash on the 66. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, when we do our Daytona episode, we'll get you a rundown on everyone that's in there.
Yeah.
We'll definitely bring you some live videos from the track and some content for sure. It's going to be a long weekend there, so definitely check out our Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, and Instagram and a few other things. We'll definitely start getting all of our socials caught up and posting some shorts as well.
Yeah.
So I think we got a good season ahead of us, and we're definitely going to cover everything from the top storylines, but we want to touch on some of the smaller things too. I think it'll be a good way to get through and kind of cover some guys who might not get so much glory normally. So
yeah, we love all your questions and comments, and feel free to send them over. All social media, hopefully we can get to them, and nothing too crazy, as I always say, but definitely.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Turn 4 Talks. I'm Nate, and this is Pop, and we hope you all have a great rest of your night.